Hi everybody, Faith with Annie Bell's Just Desserts, and today we are preparing pecan pie with what kind of wine, Sarah?
Today we have a Pedro Jimenez Sherry and Broadbent 5-year Reserve Madeira, both fortified wines.
Pecan pie, certainly a Louisiana tradition. Everybody in the South loves pecan pie. Would you agree?
It's a staple. Everybody knows how to make it. Everybody's got their own recipe for
Agreed.
The perfect pecan pie.
Agreed. And everybody can make a pecan pie. Even if you think you can't make a pecan pie, you can. It is so very simple. Of course, you start off with a great crust. I don't know if you're going to make that from scratch. If you want to buy one already made, either way, it doesn't matter. It's going to work. Then you mix up your filling, which is simply what? Pecans. I use Karo syrup. I use like a deep molasses.
Molasses, Karo syrup.
Yeah.
A good Steens, maybe a cane syrup. Something nice
yes.
and rich.
A steamed cane syrup works really well. Of course, you know, your fresh pecans, you throw those in there, bake it for a little while, more than a little while, but until you get that custardy feeling to it, and before you know it, voila, you've got pecan pie. Sarah has two great wines to go with this pie with us today. Tell us a little bit about them.
So with pecan pie, we've chosen fortified wines today. Now a fortified wine, if you've seen our other shows, you will know that a fortified wine, they stop the fermentation process about halfway through so that there's a lot of residual sugar left. And then they add grape spirit, generally brandy, which is gonna bring up the alcohol level and it's gonna cut through a lot of this sweetness. But it is gonna add alcohol content, so be prepared to get a little loopy with us.
I like loopy, I don't know about you. And little hint, sidebar. If you add maybe like just a tablespoon of brandy into your mix, your pecan pie mix, it's going to give it a taste that you would not believe. So this kind of works.
Yeah, if you're putting brandy in your pecan pie, then you're gonna love these wines with it for sure.
Yeah, it will. It will bring out the pecans, it brings out the molasses. It just really kind of takes the pie to a whole nother level. So how about you pour us a little wine and I'm gonna cut us some pie.
Yes, indeed. So the Broadbent Madeira, this is a little bit less sweet. If you want a sweeter Madeira wine, you can always choose a Malmsey, which is the sweetest Madeira wine that they make. But because the pecan pie is so sweet in its own right, I thought maybe we'd go with a little bit less sweet on the Madeira wine. Let's see if it works. Oh, wow.
I like it. I like it a lot.
This enhances the pecan flavor so much.
I like it a lot.
That's all I taste right now is like pecan.
That is the perfect chaser for this pie.
I'm glad we didn't choose the sweeter Malmsey Madeira because we don't need it with this. This is just fantastic.
This is amazing.
Wow, it really cuts through the sweetness. It enhances the nutty toasted pecan flavor. It actually really matches the molassesy filling too.
Agreed. Agreed. Another little hint, another little sidebar for you. If you toast your pecans before you put them in, it brings out a much richer flavor from the pecan.
I can see it now.
Yeah, so I do that too.
So the second wine we're gonna be trying with the pecan pie is sherry. Now this is not a dry sherry. There's lots of styles of sherry from, you know, your cream sherry, which is very dry, and then this is the sweetest sherry called Pedro Jimenez. This sherry is a fortified wine, so they do add brandy to it. It's gonna be a little higher in alcohol. Now the thing about sherry that makes it different from a Madeira is that it's oxidized. So it's gonna have a slight vinegar acidic flavor to it because they intentionally oxidize it, but it's also going to bring out the richness of this pecan pie. So that's why I chose the sherry for the pecan pie. It's really gonna bring out the molasses, the toasted flavors, the very rich flavors. There's gonna be dark fruit, prunes, and molasses.
Let me ask you a question, because not everybody uses molasses in their pecan pie. So would it work whether they're using molasses or not?
I think it would.
I mean,
work.
would it be, because everybody has their own recipe for pecan pie, as you said in the opening of the show. And not everybody use the molasses. So without the molasses, would this wine work as well?
I think it would work. I think that the Pedro Jimenez Sherry would work across the board with pecan pie. I really do. And if you don't use the molasses in your pecan pie, then this may add a nice richness that you didn't have before. So your guests may really enjoy that pairing.
Awesome. So let's do what we do best.
Let's find out.
We're going to taste. Pie pecan. I love anything pecan.
Wow, that's rich. That's big.
It has a really bold taste.
That's bold.
Bold is what comes to mind when I drink this.
This is big.
And it's strong enough and bold enough to stand up to the sweetness of this pie. Because anybody who makes pecan pies know that the one thing pecan pie is sweet. It's sugar.
And
it's
rich.
Yeah, and it's rich. It's sugar, it's molasses, it's syrup, it's whatever. And all of those things rather have sugar content in it. So there's like a ton of sugar, and this wine handles it really well.
It's big. And you generally think of pecan pie around the holiday season anyway, so it's a little colder outside, and you can probably really withstand a nice, rich, bold dessert wine to go with it. This is not something that I probably would drink in the summer.
It would be great because the holidays are coming up, and who doesn't have pecan pie for the holidays?
Who doesn't have pecan pie for the holidays?
So this would be a great addition to your holiday table. Either one of these wines I think will work.
I think since you mentioned it, some people make their pecan pies without molasses, in which case I would probably recommend the Reserve Madeira for that. While if you tend to make a more southern, rich pecan pie with the molasses or the cane syrup, I would definitely recommend the Pedro Jimenez Sherry to go with that.
So there you have it. You have a choice. So you can choose either one of these great wines to go with your pie, however you make your pie. And Sara's going to tell us a little bit more about where to get them and maybe give a little bit of a price range for them.
Well, the good thing about Madeira and Sherry is that you can find them in your local grocery store or your wine store, and they won't break the bank. You can get this Broadbent Madeira for maybe the $20 to $30 price range. A Malmsey might be a little higher, maybe in the $50 price range for a little bit of a sweeter Madeira. And you can find a really nice Pedro Jimenez for right around $20.
There you have it. Pecan pie, 2 great wines. Choose whichever one you think would work best with your pie. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed our show. Come back again. If you like us, please subscribe below. And you can always find me at anniebells.net, where you can get any of our great desserts. And Sara have already told us that you can get any one of these great wines at any of your local wine stores. Thanks for coming by. Come back again. Annie Bell's Just Dessert with wine pairing. Bye-bye.
Bye.